Today, we feature a great fashion icon as we take a look at Nigeria's fashion industry. We'll also be letting you know about all your favorite celebrities. Later on, we will be joined by Lexy Mojo Eyes, the very popular president of Legendary Gold, the brains behind Nigerian Fashion Awards, and so much more. Stay on this channel for all you need to know.
Top Nollywood actress Steph Nora Okere says she is still in love with popular actor Jim Iyke. Steph Nora and Jim Iyke dated for a while many years back, and according to reports, she's still in love with him. Steffi was quoted as saying, "Jim was and is still the best friend I've ever had. He was not just around, he was there as a friend, brother, lover, companion. He was always there. He understood me." Late veteran Nollywood actor Justus Esiri will be buried on April 12 in Delta State, South Nigeria. Service of Songs Wake Keep will hold on April 9 at the Catholic Church of Ascension in Lagos, while the Mass in Delta State will take place on April 12 at the Holy Trinity Catholic Church, Abraka. Interment follows at his house in Delta State. American pop star Madonna was serenaded as she toured school blocks she paid for in Malawi with her adopted children David Banda and Mercy James. Madonna had traveled to the East African nation after having promised Malawian authorities that she would bring the pair back to their country of birth every 2 or 3 years. About 4,000 school children were said to have been learning under trees before the pop star injected cash to help build new school blocks. Excitable pupils and hundreds of villagers danced around Madonna, even serenading her with praise songs on arrival, and she was proclaimed as the biggest global philanthropist Malawi has ever had. The Material Girl singer responded by saying "Zikomo, thank you" to her new legion of fans. Angelina Jolie has opened another girls' school in Afghanistan and plans to fund more from the proceeds from her jewelry line. The Goodwill Ambassador for the United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees funded the girls-only primary school in an area outside Kabul that has a high refugee population. The school educates 200 to 300 girls. Brad Pitt's wife plans to pay for more schools by selling a style of Jolie jewelry line that she helped create with jewelry maker Robert Prokop. Prokop designed the engagement ring given to the actress by Brad Pitt last April. Supermodel Heidi Klum plunged into the ocean to save her 7-year-old son from drowning during their vacation in Hawaii. The German model, also well known for her reality television show Project Runway, said her son Henry and 2 nannies were swept away by a big wave on the beach during the Easter holidays. Reports say her bodyguard boyfriend Martin Christian also helped save the 3. Her son Henry is a strong swimmer and was able to swim back to land. They all jetted back to Los Angeles after the tense day at the beach. Heidi appeared relaxed as she led her children through the airport following the flight. Queen Elizabeth has been awarded one of Britain's most prestigious entertainment honors for her support for the film and television industry. Actor and director Kenneth Branagh presented the 86-year-old monarch with an honorary BAFTA award, Britain's equivalent of Hollywood's Oscars, for her patronage of many of the country's entertainment organizations since coming to the throne in 1952. The Queen personally demonstrated her support for the film industry last year when she starred with actor Daniel Craig in a James Bond spoof as part of the opening ceremony for the London Olympic Games. The short sequence, seen by a worldwide television audience, showed the Queen meeting Craig at Buckingham Palace before leaving to board a helicopter. After the scene's transmission, the Queen appeared to leap from a helicopter hovering over the event and parachute into the stadium, a role performed for her by a stunt artist. According to John Willis, chairman of the British Academy of Film and Television Arts, which made the award, the unexpected entrance had made the Queen the most memorable Bond girl yet. Chris Brown has revealed he struggled when he realized he still loved Rihanna and had to tell his girlfriend Karrueche Tran he had feelings for his ex. The singer initially shocked the world when he revealed in October his feelings towards Rihanna, whom he had seriously assaulted during their relationship. He told a radio station he decided to make a video about his feelings for the two women at the time, as he thought it was the mature thing to do. A signed copy of the Beatles album Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band has been bought at auction in the US for $290,500. The selling price far exceeded the $30,000 originally estimated for the rare LP record. It was bought by an unnamed buyer. The sale also broke the previous record for a similar item. The UK Parlophone copy of the album includes a high-gloss cover and a vinyl gatefold sleeve. According to The Hollywood Reporter, it was believed to have been autographed by all four Beatles near its release in June 1967. The Dallas-based Heritage Auctions, which ran the sale, described it as one of the most spectacular jewels in the auction. The sequel to the Oscar-winning animated film Finding Nemo will be released in 2015, following years of speculation about whether it would be produced. Finding Dory will focus on the absent-minded and chatty blue tang fish, voiced by comedian Ellen DeGeneres, who was a big hit with audiences. Andrew Stanton, who co-directed 2003's Finding Nemo with Lee Unkrich, said the film will center on Dory reuniting with her loved ones, much like the family-focused plot of Nemo. The film is set for a November 25, 2015 release, the day before the US Thanksgiving holiday that coincides with the start of the holiday film season. The Moscow Fashion Week featured one of the most bizarre creations when a gold bodice and body paint get-up appeared on the runway. It's the brainchild of British designer duo Flydor Golan. It wasn't the only unique outfit to appear on the catwalk either, with everything from lilac lace face masks to ammonite-inspired collars cropping up on the runway. But although the British pair led the brash pack, they had plenty of competition from homegrown designers. Gerard Skandal took Spider-Man as her inspiration and sent a succession of eccentric sheer monochrome jumpsuits down the runway. As entertainment this week focuses on the Nigerian fashion industry, we came across the Akpos Okudu Spring-Summer lookbook featuring jewel-toned satin, lace, and chiffon fabrics working together to create an elegant effect. The creative designer Akpos Okudu Nwokekoro describes her collection as a dream to put together. Based on the names of the dresses, it seems as though this collection is inspired by Nigerian celebrity ladies. Stay on this channel for more on the Nigerian fashion industry and all its homegrown styles.
Welcome back. And I have in the studio with me Lexy Mojo Eyes. First of all, we would like to know, the name your mother gave you first.
I think I've answered that question like over 1 million times.
Yes,
maybe this is a million and one.
Yes.
And I'm sure I'll keep answering around the world, all over the world. My name is, first of all, I'm from Delta State. I'm a Chekiri.
Surprisingly. Lexy sounds like
Alexander.
Leko.
No, Alexander. For short, Lexy. Alex.
Okay.
Mojo Eyes is a compound name.
Okay.
And it means, it has a very symbolic meaning. It means that no matter how difficult life is for a man, you always find a place to pick it up from.
Okay.
It can never go so bad in life for you, like you go below the surface of the earth. No matter how bad, at some point you pick up.
Very deep.
Very, very deep. So,
okay, now let's move to some hot gossip.
Serious business, right?
Steph Nora Okere came, and it says she's still in love with Jim Ike. They did it a while back. They broke up. Now she's doing the Rihanna style. Oh, I will always be in love with Jim Ike. Do you think this is really true? Or what do you just think about the whole relationship?
No, the thing with celebrities, Jim Ike is a fine boy. Fine. That's what we call fine boy, no pimple. No, that's very possible. I don't know what the situation is from the Jim Ike's end, but if that's what she's saying, then I think that's what she really feels about
I don't know how. I think it takes a very bold person to be able to do that. I, as a woman, I would never be
too sure. It depends on how deep you are in love.
Be the first person to,
it depends on how deep you're in love.
Publicly declare my feelings. I'm afraid of humiliation much more.
No, she's just trying to express herself. There are some times you are there, you don't know, people out there do not know how you feel. and being a celebrity is easier. It's easier for her to express
she
herself.
So
that
to tell the world.
Yes, yes.
Okay. Well, wishing her all the best, because
definitely.
And hoping that she can, you know, jump over this hurdle of being in love, unrequited love, it may be. So
that I cannot say.
And now let's talk about the person that she kind of, you know, copied. Rihanna and Chris Brown. First they are on, then they are off, then they are on, then they are off again. And right now they are talking about a summer wedding. The last I heard,
yes.
I don't know how possible you think it is for them to have a long-lasting relationship, or if you think it's just for the press.
See, let me tell you one thing. Sincerely, I really do not subscribe to celebrities getting married. Going out, yes, can happen from time to time. But getting married is difficult because they are, you know, they are in the public light all the time. You know, and all the time they are all over. I mean, if one is in one part of the world, the other one is the other part of the world. Sometimes they don't even see themselves. They may really, really genuinely be in love, but because of situations around them, they may not just be able to make it happen. You know, and love, you really need to get together all the time.
And I found out that for the celebrities that it kind of works out, maybe one kind of takes a back seat to the other, kind of sacrifices his or her career for the other.
I mean, if two celebrities must get married, but I always advise, like, if you want to get married as a celebrity, look for somebody that is more stable, you know, that is always there, always with the kids, have a stable job, you know, that type of 8 to 5 o'clock job. I mean, to cover those lapses, because you as a celebrity, you are always all over. I mean, I talk for myself, all over the world. You know, you're always on the phone. I know there are sometimes I call home. In my office, I have like a wardrobe, my clothes, my international passport is always there. You know, and because of some of the positions I have internationally in the world of fashion, sometimes I may just need to leave. Sometimes it's at the airport I call to say I'm at the airport, I'm off to Paris.
It's a really demanding,
you know, so it's not easy for you to have a spouse that probably is having a shoot somewhere, you know, and you just have to leave. Nobody is in the home front, you know, covering, you know, so I really do not subscribe to that, you know. Based on experience.
Well, we love watching two hot celebrities getting together, whether it works out or not.
Because of all the G's, right?
It makes for interesting.
You like a lot of gossip, eh?
Yes, I do. And then on to more serious matters. Madonna went to Malawi to check on her charity work.
Yes.
Big up to her for her to do something like that. Angelina Jolie too was involved in something similar.
Yes.
And I heard that the children sang a song. You know, it was very sweet.
That's right. That's right. For celebrities generally, I think that's one thing we should be thinking about in Nigeria as well. You know, being a celebrity is not a piece of cake. It is hard work from the end of the celebrities. It's not easy at all. For whatever people do, fashion, music, movies, is a whole lot of sacrifice. You know, but having attained that height, you know, it is good for celebrities to use their network or you know, their popularity to do something positive, you know, because everybody wants to listen to you. You know, if, for example, a Shan Josh comes out to say, this is what I want to do, a lot of people will listen to her as compared to just a regular person saying the same thing. You know, so it's high time a lot of our Nigerian celebrities, you know, I know a lot of us are doing a lot, you know, for the less privilege and all that, but I think it's high time we use a lot of, you know, our popularity to do much more for charity.
Especially as it seems nobody is coming to do it for us.
Yes, exactly.
There's no big Hollywood star coming
we'll do it for ourselves.
So
no, I'm even happy.
Nigerians will have to help Nigerians.
No, we have celebrities in Nigeria that are as big as life itself. I mean, I'm happy about that. In music, in movies, in fashion, you know, in every other area, celebrities are, I mean, they are as big as life. You know, so, and I'm happy about that. We don't need any Hollywood or whatever to do it for us. We can do it ourselves, really.
Definitely. This is hoping that some of these celebrities will take the stand, and maybe, even if it just takes one person to start
Yes, no, but a lot of them are already doing a lot already.
Yeah.
I know somebody like Julius Agu, when he's celebrating his birthday, for example, you know, he does it with motherless children and stuff, you know, and that is great. I know a lot of celebrities that are doing things along those lines.
Yes, definitely.
You know, so we just need more celebrities to be doing such things so that we'll make life,
easier,
you know, easier
for
the less privileged.
Yes, definitely. Okay, now let's talk about you.
About me.
You already introduced yourself.
Yes.
Alexander.
Mojo Eyes.
Mojo Eyes.
For short, if you call me Alexander, nobody will know. But if you say Lexy, I'm sure a lot of people will fill in the dotted gaps. So Alexander Mojo Eyes, yes.
Okay. And I would like to know, how did you enter into the world of fashion? Because it's not really something you'll expect a man to, you know, think of.
Yes.
So, how
Okay,
did
for
it
me, I
start?
mean, it started from right from when I was growing up. I was fashionable growing up. I was particular about the things I wear. You know, while I was growing up, I remember those days I was like 12 or 13. I would go to the market, cut fabrics, go to a local tailor, tell them exactly how I want those things to be. So very young. I'm sure someday I will show some of those old pictures. You'll be amazed at the things I wear. And when I got into school, the same thing, the way I dressed was different from everybody else. I knew this was what I wanted to do, you know, and I trained as a journalist. I worked in TV. This is your job. I've done it a long time ago. If I tell you how many years ago, you'll be amazed. I'm sure you're not born then. While I was on my radio and TV job, I already started a small company.
Okay.
It was called Photogenic Palace then in Benin. You know, then I was doing modeling, I was doing fashion, I was doing photography, I was doing a lot of those stuffs. I was organizing Edo Delta Designers of the Year Award there. But I knew I needed to do something big, something that would make a difference for Nigeria, and I knew I wouldn't be able to do it from Benin, so I had to move over to Lagos. And that was where I came up with the idea of the Nigerian Fashion Show, Nigerian Fashion Show Fest.
Okay.
The idea was to reorient Nigerian designers to look inwards to local fabrics, accessories, and designs. It was new of its kind. It was the first national event when it comes to fashion. We did the first 4 years. It was very difficult and impossible. And the 5th year, at the beginning, from the beginning, I said I wanted to start taking Nigerian designers to Paris, to Milan, to New York, around the world. You know, and 4 years into the Nigerian Fashion Show, the 5th year, I took the first set of 10 Nigerian designers to Paris. We had a big show that was everywhere in the world. You know, and I mean, like they say, the rest of them is history. But after Nigeria Fashion Show, we came up with the next brand, Nigeria Fashion Week, you know, which is a bigger event. It also opens doors. Nigeria Fashion Show is strictly for Nigerian designers. Yeah. Nigeria Fashion Week is both for Nigerian and international designers.
Okay.
Nigerian Fashion Awards is giving back to those people that do industry professionals that have contributed to the fashion industry. Okay. And Nigerian Model Awards, our 4th brand, is discovering young girls that have the quality to model and take them global, you know. And for that, we are in partnership with Fashion TV in Paris. We're in partnership with Ford Models in New York, you know, so.
Now, barely 5 months ago, you actually held the Nigerian Fashion Week.
The last Nigeria Fashion Week, yes, in Lagos, yes.
So what was like the highlight of the event for you? What was like the moment where you just one moment of the entire
Okay,
show
I mean, just
really
raising the bar, you know. One thing is to organize a fashion week, another thing is to get international buyers. For this one, for the first time in any fashion event in Nigeria, we got fashion buyers, international fashion buyers that came to Nigeria to see the collection of all the designers so that they can place order. That was the first time international buyers. We got like camera model buyer. They are the biggest buying group in Europe with 120 shops spread around Europe. Yeah. You know, TGF from Australia. We got another group from China. We got another group from the United States. You know, so I think for me, because one thing is to keep organizing these shows. Another thing is the business of fashion itself.
Yes.
That was what we were just able to address with the last Nigeria Fashion Week.
Congratulations! It's a really big achievement.
Yes, yes. It was like it's taken over 6 years before they agreed to come to Nigeria. You know.
And when do you think the next one will be coming?
November. It's always in November.
Okay.
You know, and before then, you know, Nigeria is among 57 countries involved in the World Fashion Organization projects. And one of the projects of the World Fashion Organization is the World Fashion Week. And the city of Paris is going to host in November. You know, so before the major World Fashion Week with 57 countries, you know, each of the 5 continents involved in the World Fashion Organization are supposed to host a reception. You know, United States of America is hosting for North America. Okay. Argentina is hosting for South America. China is hosting for Asia.
Nigeria is hosting for
Wait
Africa.
now, why are you in a hurry? I wanted to talk Nigeria as the last. You're too fast. You know, then France, because they are hosting the first World Fashion Week, is hosting for Europe. Okay. Then Nigeria, good enough, is hosting for Africa. Ooh. You know, we're able to get Nigeria ahead of South Africa, Kenya, Senegal, you know, to host. You know, we are hosting like it's a reception for each of these continents in Paris. Yeah. Nigeria, African one is the 22nd of June in Paris, and we have like 25 African countries that are going to be there. So that's the next big project we have.
Where will it be holding? Abuja, Lagos?
No, in Paris.
No, I mean for the reception.
It's in Paris. Because okay, let me explain this to you. Okay. Because the World Fashion Organization, the World Fashion is holding in Paris. Each of all the 5 continents involved in the World Fashion Organization are hosting their reception. Yeah. So Nigeria is hosting the African reception. So all the 5 are in Paris. Okay. One continent after another. So that's the big one we have in our hands, and
a lot of work
working towards it. No, the work has already started.
Okay, and then I kind of noticed that fashion seems to be shifting towards African fabrics.
Yeah,
I even
that's
noticed,
right.
I saw a photo with Beyonce wearing Ankara.
Of course, of course.
And
of course.
what do you think is causing this shift?
No, we've
from
worked,
foreign fabrics
yes,
to...
we've worked very, very hard over the years. 7 years ago, I had the opportunity, you know, we take designers not only to Paris, to Milan and to New York. In Milan, during an international fashion press conference, I told them that Africa is a new inspiration of fashion. Why? You know, because if you go to all the fashion weeks around the world, it's the same thing you see. The designers just go back to their workshop, they change one thing a little bit, bring them out in a fashion week. You know what I mean? But Africa is a continent that nobody has tapped into. So I told them Africa is a new inspiration of fashion. And 2 years after then, we had a Valentino borrowing the safari of Kenya in a collection in New York. And after then, they've just been doing this over and over and over. You know, so a lot of us have worked so hard to put African designers in the international catwalk. Yeah. You know, and now they've come to really realize. I addressed an international fashion incubators conference in Australia 2 years ago. I said the same thing to them. I said, look, Africa does not really need aid. What Africa needs is a level playing ground for our designers. You know, because the fashion industry employs tailors, designers, creative directors, hairstylists, models, makeup artists. Yeah. You know, a whole line. So if we have market for the products coming from the African fashion industry, lots of jobs will be created. Definitely. Africa will make a lot of foreign exchange. Yeah. You know, so what we need is a level playing ground. That is the major problem.
Give us the same opportunities
as they have, which we never ever had. But little by little, we are breaking all the boundaries and we are getting there. Yeah. You know, so we've, as far as I'm concerned, we've not even gotten started.
Definitely, but
you know,
this is really something I'm looking forward to.
Yes, definitely.
And the Moscow Fashion Week,
yes,
is rounding up.
It's rounding up right now, yes. And the highlight of the Moscow Fashion Week was like a garment made from gold, with a lot of gold painting, and that one made headline all over the place. But I'll tell them...
How much did it cost?
That's why I don't want to go to those controversies. But I'll also tell them that, you know, we did that in Johannesburg, maybe like 10 years ago.
Really?
Yes, that same thing that they are showing in Moscow that is like meeting all international headlines. We did it in Johannesburg. You know, during the, in Cape Town, sorry, during the Cape Town Fashion Week. Okay. You know, that was in 2000, and that's 11 years, 2002 or 2003. You know, that's like 10 years ago. Okay, and the media, you know, the publicity wasn't as much? No, it also comes back to Africa. You know, everything that's coming from Africa, everything they want to hear in the international media is poverty, wars, things that are not very positive. You understand that? The same thing, I mean, what we did in Cape Town. Pot-bellied children sitting in all the that stuff. What we did in Cape Town 10, 11 years ago was bigger than what I saw in Moscow Fashion Week. Finally, where do you see your career in the next, let's say, 10 years? 10 years, I really do not know precisely, but we're working so hard. Okay, tell me what your dream is for the next 10 years. What do you think? No, some not up to 10 years. Very soon, host the whole of the world in Nigeria. Yes. You know, and try to use it as a platform to make sure our image. I mean, all the negative things they've always talked about Nigeria, you know, people will just forget about them and think about all the good things about Nigeria. Definitely. So much creativity here, not just in Nigeria, but in Africa. Exactly. And we hope we'll be given a chance. Definitely. They don't have a choice. Nigeria is very important. They don't have a choice, you know. Thank you so much for coming on. It's nice to be here. On Entertainment This Week. Yes. As a lady, I love fashion. I was hoping that you would bring some stuff for me, but we'll talk about that later. I didn't have your measurement. I didn't know if it was a lady or a guy that's going to do this interview. Thank you so much. Lexy Mojo Eyes. Thank you so much. Make it a day with me again next week for all you need to know on your favorite celebrities on NTA Entertainment.